Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of our weekly Super Smash Bros. Ultimate discussion, where we go over all the updates from the Smash Bros. Blog over the past week. So let's get right into it. And right away, starting on Monday, we get a character overview of the main man himself, being Mario. Now this trailer, I don't think is anything new, right Derek?
No, this was uploaded right away. It's just the blog is more featuring Mario than anything else, because we uploaded a whole thing of combining all these trailers together, so we've seen it before if you actually took the time to watch it, but there's still some fun things in here to point out.
Well, I guess the only new thing then is the description here, where it says Mario is an all-around fighter. He uses his wide variety of techniques to respond in any situation. In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, he shows up in his wedding tux and his builder outfit, and Cappy even makes an appearance. And then, as you mentioned, they have the little trailer here, which has some cool little touches, including a look at the wedding tux outfit, builder outfit, as well as Cappy being shown. So yeah, we've already talked about Mario in some capacity, of course, but let's go ahead and just dive in deep here on Mario's return in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What do you think of him based on, what we played as well as what they've shown in the trailer here?
I'm shocked that he's here. Who ever thought Mario would be here in Smash? It's crazy.
Believe it? I know.
Yeah,
The interesting thing here is that you mentioned the wedding tux, the builder outfit, how Cappy appears during one of his taunts. We also got our first look at the new Donk City level, because they had Pauline in the back with the band doing the song. And I think that's honestly the biggest thing about this trailer is, hey, there is a new Donk City stage coming, which we kind of figured, but it's still cool to see.
Yeah, the second biggest, Derek. The biggest is, of course, Jump Up Superstar playing in the trailer.
Well, yeah,
that is true.
That's the most important thing here, of course.
No, I think the stage. I'm so glad there's a Mario Odyssey stage here. I think it's super cool that Cappy appears in Mario's outfit at all, but I'm still disappointed that they didn't go even farther and actually give him some Cappy-based moves. Instead, Cappy is purely cosmetic. We're not getting any real changes to Mario from what I can see, any actual moveset changes, which is a disappointment to me, because I made an entire video imagining how they could update Mario for modern times instead of using the same exact moveset from the past nearly 20 years at this point. And in that sense, I am a little bit let down. Even his final Smash looks nearly identical to what it was before, and I always thought Mario had one of the lamest final Smashes of anyone.
Yeah, and it's true, and even going back now, just going back and watching the original reveal trailer for Smash Ultimate, I still would have gone back and guessed that they were updating his moveset, and other veterans, especially, like Link, like we've talked about.
Which they did at least, to some degree.
To some degree, and with Mario, he got even less, which is really to say nothing. So it really is a shame, because I would have gone back even now and guessed, okay, Cappy will at least be worked into his moveset in some slight way, even if it's kind of like we're seeing with Ganondorf, with the, his smashes now using his sword, which is really cool. Something subtle like that, but I really thought Cappy was going to make it in as part of his moveset somehow, and that's not the case.
One thing that's a bit weird, actually, is we have the builder's outfit and the wedding outfit, but in the costume video we uploaded, I couldn't see Fire Mario in there. And you'd think that would be one of the go-to alternate costumes to have for him, but I couldn't see it anywhere.
That is rather odd.
Yeah, maybe that was the sacrifice that had to be made to get 2 more outfits in there. But it is strange that they would just take that out and not just build on top of that. So maybe Fire Mario will be an Echo Fighter for Mario now.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not too much to say about Mario. I love his costumes. I like all the changes they've made. I just wish they made more changes. The costumes are good. I like Cappy being here, and of course, having a stage based in New Donk City is fantastic. It's something I think we were all hoping for, and I can't wait to see what all music Mario gets on top of just Jump Up Superstar. But again, it's the same. It's very much the same Mario we've known and loved over the years. But I want to love something new now, and they didn't give that to me.
Yeah. Well, John, I think it was you who picked Bowser's Kingdom for Songs to Smash 2, which I was totally down with, by the way. And with us getting a new Donk City stage, I really do hope that Bowser's Kingdom makes the cut for the music in this stage.
I hope so. There's so many tracks you can take from Odyssey, and that's definitely among my highest.
Yeah, that'd be a great one. Yeah, there's so many, and I can't wait to hear how all they remix them and update them for Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, totally.
Now there is one detail in this trailer. I'm not sure if it's actually new or not, but at around 11 seconds, Mario gets crushed by a can in the Wrecking Crew stage in a manner very similar to Daisy getting crushed by Ridley in our Making the Case video, which I love. Are those eyeballs new, or have they always been there?
They've always been there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I for a brief moment, I'm like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if Cappy took possession of the barrel, and that's why the eyes appeared? but that's totally not the case. I just wish it
Right.
were. Something slightly more interesting to
only.
give Demo Cappy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and move on to another mainstay of Smash, being Battlefield. We get a better look at the updated version of it, and of course it looks, like Battlefield. We have the usual array of platforms in a pretty standard setting, but I do want to comment just how beautiful it looks this time. They usually do a good job making Battlefield just like a serene environment to play in, which is almost antithetical to how intense Smash Brothers can be. And I like it. I like how this looks. I love the waterfalls in the background. In fact, it actually reminds me, speaking of Odyssey, of the Cascade Kingdom a little bit.
Well, you just mentioned another song that needs to make the cut from Super Mario Odyssey. But yeah, no, Battlefield really does look quite nice this time around. As you said, Andre, it often does. I do hope we get the shifting time of day to come back, which I assume we will. That was always one of my favorite features of Battlefield.
I think we've seen that in action already.
I think we have,
Yeah.
yeah. No, and yeah. So I've always loved that about Battlefield in terms of the just the lighting changing, and especially for longer fights, just seeing it kind of dynamically shift. And Battlefield's Battlefield. It's a mainstay, and it's hard to find too much to say about it. Because even if it does look really cool in this form, it's still ultimately not all that different from what it looked like in Smash 4.
Well, ultimately, it's an Ultimate now.
Oh, man, yeah. But, no, I mean, hey, it's Battlefield, and it's so beloved that it has its own form in every stage now, so that says something about its legacy.
What's Battlefield's Battlefield stage form gonna look like?
It's kind of like Omega Final Destination in Smash 4, right?
I have no idea. I mean, what's cool about this Battlefield is just all the little details. You guys mentioned all the waterfalls in the back and the floating islands, but you can see the ruins, and I like around the front you can see foliage growing, grass peeking out between the stones. There's a lot of small details in here that you'll never notice while you're fighting, but in pictures like this, you can stand back and appreciate them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the music is a new arrangement of the main theme that we heard in the trailer. I'm not sure how well you guys could hear it on the show floor when you were playing the demo, because I imagine the sound was probably a bit low on the show floor.
Mm-hmm.
But,
just a little bit.
Yeah, from the Treehouse gameplay though, you can hear the music quite well, and it sounds really good. It's not quite the music we heard in the trailer, but it's very, very similar. I think Smash 4 did a very similar thing too, where its Battlefield was pretty much the main theme of the game as well.
Yeah. It was just basically, it was just a differently arranged, faster version, I believe. And that's something that Battlefield's kind of always done as well. So it's kind of used various versions of that game's main Smash theme. So, yeah, I have not heard that yet, John, but I'm glad you mentioned that because it makes me want to go back and get a preview of what it sounds like.
All right, well, moving on to the final update for Monday. I love these multi-updates we get per day, or per some
Right?
days.
Yeah.
So we have the black hole item, and the description is, it pulls fighters and items into its powerful gravity field. If someone throws a black hole in your direction, you'd better keep your distance. And we get some pictures of Mario being sucked into it, or a few characters getting sucked into it. Including two on what appears to be an updated version of Final Destination. So we'll talk about that as well, I'm sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this item is based on anything from a Nintendo franchise, right? It's an all-new item.
Right. I think it's a Smash original item.
There was a black hole glitch in Melee, so it might be a reference to that.
Yeah.
But probably not.
What if they brought back items like glitches from Melee as like their own thing? Like, here's a wave dashing glitch item.
Oh my god.
I mean, speaking of that, John, I wonder if that's why they chose Fox as far as for some of these images.
Maybe.
Just to reference that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I say, I don't think it's affiliated with any prior Nintendo franchises because the Smash blog posts that are affiliated with that franchise. Like for Mario, he has his mushroom icon in his blog update, so there's no such icon for this. So that's why I think it is a Smash original item.
Oh, hold up. I had an inkling, so to speak, even though that's not related to this. I had an inkling that this may have been from Kid Icarus Uprising, and a quick search shows that there was a black hole item that debuted in Kid Icarus Uprising, and the in-game description is, create a black hole that pulls enemies toward it.
Yeah, it might be. It's just, why wouldn't it have the little Kid Icarus arrow, thing, the icon? But I was thinking about that too, Andre. I know what you mean.
Maybe it's Sakurai just being modest about bringing in another item from his own series,
or it could just be a straight up editorial mistake, like they just forgot to slap the Kid Icarus logo on it. So yeah, but I was thinking about how there is a similar item. So I thought I remember thinking it was strange when I was playing and using the item. I'm like, that's strange. It does remind me of something, and then so maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember the island specifically, but for whatever reason I was thinking Kid Icarus Uprising. Maybe it's because Palutena is in these images. And is Pit, or so is Pit. So this is all making sense right now. This is all checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the item itself is pretty fun.
Yeah, we encountered this in the E3 demo, and it definitely switches things up a bit, because you want to stay as far away from that thing as possible. And it's pretty big. And it has a really cool graphical effect associated with it too. You know, it just looks really neat on these stages. I'm sure it'll look especially good in Final Destination, which we actually also kind of see here, as I mentioned, presumably. That we'd already touched on Final Destination before in your, not in these discussions, but in your stage compilation, John, where apparently on the website we saw what appears to be the background for this stage, and now we see what appears to be likely the platform for it, or at least half the platform, because as I recall from Smash Brothers 4, or Wii U and 3DS, the stage kind of like was divided in half, with a different theme on each side. I think it was fire and ice in that case, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe this is this is mechanical and something else on the other side, like maybe a bio theme, or maybe it's just mechanical all over.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually looking forward to really seeing what that's all about, just because I remember thinking that the Smash 4 Final Destination reminded me surprisingly a lot of Soul Calibur, and just kind of the whole overall motif of the Soul Calibur logo, and I'm just curious to see, you know, I never really thought that had anything to do with Bandai Namco developing it, at least consciously, but still, I found it interesting, so it should be, I'm looking forward to seeing just how much this new one differs, and just from this little angle of the platform we get here, it seems like it's going to differ quite a bit.
And we can definitely expect a shifting background like before, because you know we had a nice and sunny background for Final Destination in the previous images, and now it's dark, overcast. We can see a bit of red in there. It's definitely going to be shifting all around.
Some people found Smash 4's Final Destination a little bit too busy, I think. I've heard complaints, people saying that it's just a bit too distracting. So I wonder if they're going to minimize it a bit in this one. But so far, from what we've seen in the images, they seem like very easy colors. Like these seem like things that would just sort of go by in the background without really taking your attention away. But at the same time, they still look really appealing.
I want them to go all out with this stage. Like, I love how crazy the backgrounds get.
Me too.
It just adds to the epicness of you know, the weight of the battle. And like Smash Brothers Brawl, I think, is that the one that started the trend, I think, of just the crazy backdrops, which I adored back then as well. So I really hope they just run with the idea. Make it as epic as possible, especially if we have a Final Destination stage version of every other stage. I feel they should make the actual Final Destination as distinct as possible.
The final destination.
Exactly, which ironically we didn't see in the E3 build. We saw an early Final Destination, or a non-Final Destination.
Yeah.
I mean, this also brings to point like with both Battlefield and Final Destination, will we see all the past Battlefields and Final Destinations from Smash 1 through 4?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Jeez, that would be really cool if we did. If we got multiple variants on a stage like that.
Especially because Smash 64 technically didn't have either of those stages. So it'd be really cool if they updated them.
Yeah, it had Master Hand appeared in Smash 64 in a Final Destination kind of stage.
I was just going to say,
select it.
That would be an amazing callback, wouldn't it?
That would
were
be.
the Final Destination version from Smash 64. Also, if they're bringing back, you know, we've already theorized they're bringing back every stage. They should bring back some of those stages that weren't playable at all from Smash 64, including the Metal Mario Arena, as well as the tutorial arena, as I recall. That was its own thing that also wasn't playable.
That would honestly be like the coolest thing to have the Metal Cavern or something brought back as playable, just because that was always something, you know, growing up with Smash 64, like, you always wanted to find a way to play on those, like, few stages that weren't available to actually choose, and to actually have that come back as part of Smash Ultimate would be kind of like, I don't know, closing that loophole in a way. I think it would be really cool.
It would be, absolutely. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to Tuesday, where I think we only have... No, we have multiple updates here, too. And the first one starts off on a high note, so to speak, because we get a listen of a brand new song come to the game, being Bomb Rush Blush from Splatoon, except it's a remix of it. So, Ash, I know you're a huge music guy, although not a huge Splatoon guy, so maybe you're not the one to go to on this. What are your early thoughts on this track so far?
I love it. I tend to like Tomoya Otani's work in general, and he did the rearrangement for this, and I love it. I have listened to it multiple times. Even though I don't play a ton of Splatoon, I do really like Splatoon music, and I like the original version of this song, and John, I know you really like the original version of this song, but I love this rearrangement, and I just need more music. Just give it all to me. I need it.
You're like a drug addict.
Yeah, right?
It's so good. It really is. I listened to it quite a few times. It just fits in so well. Like I kind of want this song in Splatoon now. Just put this rearrangement into that game as well. It just really captures the magic. And this is it's interesting to have Otani as the one doing the rearrangement, because isn't he usually known for Sonic songs?
Right. Yeah, I believe he is.
Which could mean we could actually see some actual Sonic rearrangements this time around.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I know, because all we really got before was Angel Island, which was a really good one. I think Jun Senoue redid that one, which is good, but we haven't gotten that many other rearrangements of Sonic music.
So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. But
yeah,
the music, this song on its own is like completely justifies him being here because he did amazing.
Yeah, I think I prefer to the original.
I think I do too, actually. Yeah.
It perfectly envisions the original version, but also feels kind of more cinematic and more epic, and it's definitely better to fighting to than the original would have been. But yeah, so thus far, all of the songs they've remade, well, they've rearranged for Smash Ultimate have just been amazing. Like, I think this is better. All 4 of these so far. Was it 5 now? I think is it 4?
4 if you don't count the main theme.
So yeah,
right.
all 4 of these rearrangements so far, I think, are probably higher than all the rearrangements in Smash 4. Like, I love all of these so far.
You know, I'm going to be completely honest. I was, in hindsight, a little bit let down by Smash Bros. 4's music overall, especially in comparison to Brawl. I thought Brawl really killed it, and Smash Bros. 4 felt like a bit of a step back. So I really hope that this game, addresses that and continues in the direction Brawl was heading. And ultimately, what I'm getting at is, I can't wait to hear what Bramble Scramble sounds like in this game.
Because there will be a new version of that.
That's it. Exactly.
I'm actually kind of curious what you mean, though, Andre, because I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, isn't Smash 4 soundtrack, in my view, is just kind of more of what Brawl did, which is just, it builds on, it's literally Brawl soundtrack with more.
Well, even if they did bring back all the songs from Brawl, they're still old news at that point. We've been hearing them for, 6 to 8 years by the time of Smash 4? So my point more is the new music in Smash 4 wasn't as good as all the new music in Smash Bros. Brawl overall. Don't get me wrong, there's still great songs in Smash Bros. 4 as well. I just felt overall, on the whole, it didn't leave me with quite the same impression that Brawl had at the time.
Gotcha, alright.
So I really hope that we get a lot more really good new music in Smash 4. And real quick, I want to comment on, I love how we now have Splatoon music in Smash. I feel like it is such a perfect fit for the series, specifically Splatoon 1. I love that soundtrack. I thought it has a perfect amount of high energy, like peppiness to it, that really contributed to the matches in Splatoon, and it's only going to do wonders, or even more wonders, I think, in Smash Brothers. So I love that this is a thing now.
I agree, and it's even more exciting, in my opinion, that we've got, musicians from other companies, like third-party companies, taking a crack at these, in-house Nintendo franchise songs, basically. So again, Otani's Sonic and the Sega composer. So I guess that means, Derek, that for our Sonic rearrangements, we're getting Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympic Games or something like that, because that is one of his most recent works.
I mean, the thing is, the rearrangements in the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games are really good, so that's not a bad thing.
That's a good, I was actually going to say that. They actually are quite good, so.
The other thing that we would talk about earlier, the fact that we already got a new song. So I'm crossing my fingers on this one, we'll get a new song each week. I'm totally hoping for that.
I'm sure we will, because there's, I think we said earlier, there's only 25 weeks until the game comes out, or somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And we know there's going to be more than 25 songs, so I'd be shocked if we don't get at least one song a week.
I hope so.
Well, and we've already heard previews of some of them, which is kind of like a little video I'm working on and waiting in the wings, but we've actually heard some other new songs based, in the character trailers that we've seen so far, that they still have yet to officially preview on the site. So they've got quite a few left to go through, though. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to another update for Tuesday. We get a better look at the assist trophy, Bomberman. Bomberman making his appearance, but perhaps not the capacity we were hoping for in Smash Bros. Ultimate. The description reads, Bomberman is a brand new assist trophy, which means he's here to help you during battle. The bombs he leaves on the stage detonate in his iconic cross-shaped pattern. And sure enough, I think we experienced this at E3 ourselves, or all of us did. And those can be pretty tough to deal with because those are some big explosions. So it's very fitting for Bomberman. So I mean, he really is a great fit in the assist trophy, even if I think he'd be a better fit as a character. But what do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, one thing I like a lot actually is you can actually once he puts the bombs down, you can actually hit them back and move them around, just like in Bomberman
That's
games.
great. I love that.
So yeah, it feels like they've actually implemented him really well into the game, and I am kind of let down that he's an assist trophy, but I'm just happy he's here.
Yeah, same
That's where
here.
I'm at. I'm so happy he got into the game, but looking at his art, like looking at his model on this, like, man, I want him to be playable.
Right?
It looks so
Yeah.
fun. Obviously, they have to tone down the strength of his bombs for actually being a playable character, but come on. Just such a tease. But it's still really cool that he's in here, and I'm totally down for it. It's cool to see him running around the screen, manipulating the bombs. He has even different bombs that go off at different times to really mess with people. It's a good assist trophy.
Yeah, I was really, really holding out hope he would be playable, just because it would have been so cool, and I do think Bomberman deserves a spot in the roster. I mean, he's definitely, he's relevant enough, and didn't happen, unfortunately, but I do love his representation here, the cross-shaped explosions that come right out of his games. I also really like the fact that he uses two different kinds of his bombs from his games. He's got his regular bombs and then the remote bombs, I think they're called. And I don't know how they actually manifest, I don't know how their differences manifest in Smash yet. But I have specifically noticed that the bombs he drops are two different kinds. So it'll be interesting to see how, the behaviors of them differ.
You know what I would love? I just had what might be a brilliant or incredibly stupid idea. What if there were a mode or some way in which maybe a fifth player could play as the assist trophies? So you could actually play as Bomberman, and that would tie into the whole fact that that assist trophies can be KO'd now and actually count as points. So you could have like a fifth player, and there was kind of like a more random factor, like controlling these assist trophies that appear whenever they show up.
Almost like some asymmetrical multiplayer stuff going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be cool. I don't know how realistic it actually is, but it would be really cool though.
See, the way I envision that is taking another aspect from Bomberman is like when you get kicked out of that in one of the matches in Bomberman, and they go around the corners throwing bombs in the middle. That's how I imagine it for a player actually controlled it.
Well, see, and man, you extrapolate your idea too much, and then man, that slope just gets really slippery. Because now we could have Lynn playable as like assist trophy. I mean, get
exactly.
Pac-Man playable in there. That would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you got your Waluigi there. Like, it's brilliant. Like, I think this is such a great idea. It wouldn't be that far removed from like playing as a helper character in Kirby or in the Kirby games.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much work. I don't think it's that far outside the realm of possibility. Like, how freaking cool would that be?
I'd be all about it.
It'd be also really biased because I can see you like you being the assist trophy character. Be like, who am I gonna screw over?
That's the brilliance of it. That is the best part about it, arguably. So between Bomberman and Snake, we're seeing some pretty heavy Konami influence in this game, or maybe not influence, but a representation. So, do you think this could pave the way for an actual new Konami character in Smash?
I hope so.
I mean, I don't see why not. Snake's kind of back because he has to be, because everyone's here. Right. But yeah, Bomberman, that's a new decision. That's a new mechanic they've put in the game. So it seems like Konami are open to lending more of their IP to Smash. So I see no reason why we can't have more characters.
It would make sense to have another Konami character in here because we've seen other characters pop up as like from their own franchises have like assist trophies, like again Knuckles for Sonic. So other characters from that, but Bomberman's not from another franchise. I don't expect another character from Bomberman to make it in instead of Bomberman. So that tells me that a different Konami character might make it in, or they could just be going off Snake. It's hard to say, but it feels like I don't know. It feels like we're going to get a new Konami character.
Yeah, I kind of have an inkling, no pun intended, that we are. I don't know. I've already been thinking that, and Bomberman being here as an assist trophy just kind of reinforces that. So I'm not newly thinking that, but it was kind of already there. And I mean, I think we all kind of agree. Like, it feels like the right time for a Castlevania character. It's like I don't know. Who knows if it's happening? But I feel like Simon Belmont or Trevor Belmont or somebody from Castlevania makes sense at this point. Mm-hmm. And given that we know Konami is open to working with Nintendo, because Snake is back, I don't know. I feel like it's going to happen, but we'll find out within the next 6 months, give or take.
That's a pretty great thing. We'll find out
Yeah.
about all of it in the next 6 months.
Exactly.
But real quick, I do want to comment on how you mentioned Snake had to be back. No, he didn't. This is Konami, and I was just thinking how badly they get screwed over Nintendo's entire marketing campaign for this game. With
Everyone's back, apart from Snake.
Exactly. Oh man, can you imagine? Jesus.
I mean, his symbol did get changed. It was like the foxhound symbol, which is basically the Kojima production
Right.
symbol.
Yeah.
So they had to change it to the exclamation point.
I like that exclamation point more. I
Yeah.
think it fits. I don't know. It just fits with his character and with the. I don't know, just with the cheeky
sillier
kind
aspect.
of fun with the series. Yeah, exactly, the sillier aspect.
Not only did his logo get changed, Derek, his butt got changed too.
I know. I mean,
Which again-
I'm glad people assess that so quickly.
Oh man, yeah, you went there. But yeah, I mean, if you need any proof that Smash Ultimate has different character models and graphics across the board, there's your proof. You can't compare them. Snake lost his butt.
Snake lost his butt and Samus got really toned.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to Wednesday, where we get another overview, this time for Link, or Champion Link as he is now, although they still call him just Link. The description reads, Link has been redesigned to match his appearance in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. He can now pick up arrows he's fired, and his bombs have been upgraded to remote bombs. He can set them off when the timing is just right. So, and in the trailer they show all of this off, including the another look at the Breath of the Wild stage, the Great Plateau Tower, I believe. So yeah, I love the changes they've made. I predicted some of them, or at least one of them being the remote bombs. Unfortunately, I was hoping they would go a bit farther with him too, and really take the opportunity to revamp some of his moves. Maybe, I think the biggest disappointment actually is the fact that they not only got rid of his grab being the hook shot, which makes sense because there is no hook shot in Breath of the Wild, but they just turned it into a standard grab. He just grapples people now, which is super lame. And they could have used, like, I feel like Magnesis or something more interesting to play into his Breath of the Wild moveset.
Yeah, I was really hoping they would. I don't know, it sucks to lose the hook shot, even though it does canonically make sense within Breath of the Wild, but I don't know, it makes Link a less interesting character in my opinion. It actually removes options from him. Like, he can't hook shot to the ledge anymore. He can't, it's just his grab is now kind of like most other grabs in the game, and it's a shame. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't really feel like they had to take away the hook shot, just because Link in Smash Brothers has always been an amalgamation kind of various different Links. I mean, yes, you can say he looks most like Twilight Princess Link, but it isn't specifically Twilight Princess Link, So, I don't know. I feel like they could have kept his hook shot, but I get why they didn't. I totally get it.
I mean, I can see why they did, because there's two other Links you can play as that do have it.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I wish they'd done something more unique, because this is the definitive Link, I would say. This is the main Link. And unfortunately, yeah, he's lacking one of the things that made him the main Link in past games. So what would have been perhaps a cool alternative if they didn't want to go the Magnesis route is why not just redesign the hookshot to look like it came from Sheikah technology, kind of like what they did with Link when they updated him for Twilight Princess and updated everything around surrounding him in Smash.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did with Sheik as well. Sheik's design's based off the Breath of the Wild Sheikah costume.
Right.
And so, yeah, so I wish they kind of extrapolated parts of Breath of the Wild and put them into different characters. But as you said earlier, there's already two other Links in this game, so I wish they kind of went a bit more wild with his moveset.
I wish I went a bit more wild too.
Oh, his recovery could have been like octoballoons or something like that.
Right?
I just wish they got a little bit more crazy with this.
Or, yeah, I mean, if not octoballoons, which would have been amazing, actually. But, Rivali's Gale, right? And the hang glider.
Yeah.
Any of the champion abilities. And you brought up a good point, John. Like, they did kind of redesign Sheik a little bit for that purpose, and this isn't even the first time they've done it. Like, Smash 4 redesigned Sheik to kind of, approximate what she would have looked like in Twilight Princess if she was in it. And so it's not the first time they've taken creative liberties with Zelda characters specifically just to kind of make them fit the mold they need them to, and for whatever reason, though, that just didn't happen with Link this time around, although I do suspect, Andre, kind of like you said, has something to do with the fact that there are now 3 Links, and that the other 2 have a hookshot.
Who knows? Maybe he has the most deadly grab in the game. I mean, we do know what Link's grip strength is, so that could be really deadly.
That they could have implemented that somehow. I don't know exactly how, but that would have been really cool, though.
What, climbing?
No,
Yeah,
just the
climbing.
grip meter somehow, like with his throw. Like, I don't know how that would have worked, but it would have been pretty cool.
Bringing up climbing though, some characters can sort of cling to the ledge of a stage. Do we know if Breath of the Wild Link can do that?
I don't think anybody tried.
I think I tried.
Oh, did you?
I'm pretty sure I tried because I was hoping in my predictions video or my moveset predictions or speculation, I'm like, it'd be cool if Link could not just climb, or grab or cling to walls, but he could actually climb up those walls a little bit. And so I think I was trying to grab on the walls, and in my experience, he couldn't do it. So, but maybe the wall I was trying to grab wasn't grabbable or clingable, so I'm not entirely 100% sure on that, but it didn't seem like it was there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The arrow thing is also kind of cool, like the fact that he can pick it up and throw it, or he can use the bow again to do double arrows.
That is cool.
I like they got that little nod to how Link can just pick up whatever's around and use it to the best of his ability.
Yeah, no, that's a really cool throwback to the game that I didn't expect. That's one I didn't see coming at all. So that is a really neat detail to throw in there.
That's a very Sakurai-like thing. Like that's something that I would never expected. Like that's just like of all the mechanics they could have brought over from Breath of the Wild to like represent in Smash, that is not what I expected them to do.
Right. I like what they've done to Breath of the Wild Link. Again, I just wish it went a little bit farther with him. So, but hey, at least they got more of an update than Mario did. So. Oh, also, and his Final Smash, I much prefer his Final Smash now. I never was a fan of the original one, and this new one seems definitely more fitting for the character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is that it's basically Zelda's, and Zelda got a way cooler one this time, so I'm glad she got a much better one to replace it, because Link's, it's basically just
pretty
Zelda's
much swapped.
Yeah, they kind of did, actually. They kind of swapped, although I would say Zelda, the way Zelda uses the Triforce is much cooler than kind of like, I know, Andre, you were saying it never really made sense with Link, his Final Smash, so I agree in that sense.
Yeah, I feel like the changes they made for the Final Smashes, in fact, I think across the board, I like every change they made to the Final Smashes, so, including for the upcoming character we're going to discuss, which is a final update of the week, unfortunately, because it's only Thursday. We never got a Friday update, but this is a brand new newcomer, being the Ice Climbers. Okay, they're a returning fighter, coming, according to the description, they're back in the battle after a 10-year absence. There are 2 of them, so does that make them twice as strong as other fighters? Now some might argue, does it make them twice as weak as other fighters? But yeah, I'm just happy to see these guys back. Like, something was missing in Smash 4, and as it turns out, that something was the Ice Climbers. So I love that they're back, and even though they seem to be pretty much the same characters as they were before, which is fine, because they were missing for 10 years, I love the tweak they made to the Final Smash, where it just looks much more epic now, where the giant pillar of ice just pierces through the ground, now spins around, while the Ice Climbers, fly around completely safe on that bird creature from their own game.
Yeah, it's just one of many examples of how the newly streamlined, faster Final Smashes, they're kind of more cinematic in nature now, and they really do improve the pacing of the game. Like, I've always liked Final Smashes, I've never had a problem with them, I like playing with Smash Balls on, but I have to say, I really do like this step toward just cutscene-based Final Smashes that get you right back into the action really quickly.
It's just a much more visceral attack than anything before, because honestly, their Final Smash sucked. It was so easy to avoid, and even if you did hit it, you just get turned into ice a few times. I can't remember ever getting a kill with them.
Yeah, it was kind of sucky in the same way that Rosalina's Final Smash was sucky in Smash 4, so hopefully that's been improved as well, in the kind of the switch to more, canned Final Smashes, I guess. But yeah, it's really great to see the Ice Climbers back, obviously. I was very quick to try playing them at E3 just because I was always an Ice Climbers fan, and yeah, they feel very similar. But it's just great to see them back. They always felt like they were missing in Smash 4, and it's great to see them here, like they belong.
Yeah, these guys are a great example of the new facial expressions as well. Like, they're so expressive now. Like, when one gets hit, the other kind of just looks shocked. It's a great addition that it's not always apparent in all the fighters. Like, I think Wario is really expressive when he's on his bike, and Donkey Kong has new expressions as well. But yeah, these guys they shine so bright compared to previous entries.
Yeah.
I love that moment where Popo gets eaten by Kirby and Nana's just panicking in the spot.
Right.
Like, oh God, what do I do? What do I do?
They were so fun to play as. They were such a unique character, and yeah, like I said, something was really missing from Smash 4 without them. So
it's time for an 8-player Smash, all Ice Climbers.
Oh, you're damn right. It's gonna be amazing.
Now that I think of it too, what's kind of cool for the Ice Climbers in this game specifically is there another character like Little Mac who will be definitely, like, objectively helped out by the fact that they're bringing the directional air dodge back, because you can use that as a recovery mechanic. Like, we even see Little Mac doing that.
Right.
And, when Nana or Popo are alone, their belay recovery doesn't work. So it'll be nice for them to have another slight way to get back to the stage if one of the ice climbers is down already.
Alright, so that brings us to the end of the week. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, there was no Friday update. However, this might be a good time for us to introduce a brand new feature, guys, where we answer one question a week about Smash Brothers from our Patreon community. So if you'd like to submit a question yourself for future episodes, just back us on Patreon for just $1 a month, and you'll get the opportunity, on top of getting our Real Talk podcast 3 days early, as well as instant access to the official GameXplain Discord, and admittance into the Patreon exclusive VIP room. This one comes to us from Jeff Edelston, who asks, what do you think the chances of getting more Echo Fighters versus newcomers for Smash is? I feel like Sakurai mentioned them specifically because they plan to add several of those and maybe just 2 or 3 newcomers. Personally, I'm hoping that means Shadow for Sonic, Rex for Shulk, switching between Blades instead of Monado modes, and Banjo-Kazooie for Duck Hunt, and he says, we can dream, right? Loving the Smash Brothers discussions, road to 1 million subscribers. Well, thanks, Jeff, for the question. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think the introduction of Echo Fighters means there will be more, especially with the fact there's only 3 of them so far?
Yeah.
It's almost a done fact at this point, especially because some of the characters are not considered Echo Fighters. They didn't make Dr. Mario an Echo Fighter at all. It's like, okay, and the best I can tell from the reasoning behind it is that if an Echo Fighter only has basically one major change to the fighter they're based on,
right.
And Dr. Mario has a few more changes than just being Mario with pills, for example. So I can see where they're going.
That sounds like a demo of Mario.
So good, yeah.
So I like it. I definitely think we're going to get more Echo Fighters than new fighters, like brand new newcomers. And I agree with Jeff. I think we're only probably going to get 2 or 3. I totally believe Sakurai is like, don't expect a lot of new fighters because of this.
I love the term Echo Fighter though. Like people, this is just such a good PR move because people, they were against clones. So when you have like characters like Dark Pit and Lucina, people are kind of disappointed because they feel like they're sort of wasted movesets. But now people are like they're actually championing more Echo Fighters. Like people want Shadow in the game now, which you wouldn't have really seen much of in Smash 4. So yeah, this is a really awesome move. And it's just funny how just renaming it has had such a huge impact on it.
I mean, that's exactly it, right? It was a brilliant PR move because this changes nothing about the game. Clones, semi-clones, and every form of clones have already existed. All they're doing now is acknowledging it and naming it. That's all they're doing.
Right.
And now people want more of them.
Yeah. I do think it's likely that we'll get more Echo Fighters than brand new fighters. Yeah, there's definitely something to Sakurai talking about, hey, we hope you don't expect too many newcomers this time. But with that said, I do expect more than just 2 to 3 brand new fighters. So I do think there'll be more Echo Fighters than brand new ones, but if we're only getting 2 to 3 brand new fighters, we've seen 2 of them already, and that we'd only have 1 more to go. And
in addition to what we've already got.
Oh, in addition to Inkling and Ridley. Okay, fair enough. So 2 to 3 more beyond that, I could see that being. Yeah, I might expect a couple of more than that, but I do think. Yeah, I think it's going to be more Echo Fighters for sure. That makes sense.
I like his example of Rex being a Shulk Echo Fighter, but I'm not entirely sure how it would really work, because Shulk uses different colours to sort of emphasise what mode he's in, whereas Rex sort of changes characters, so I'm not entirely sure how that would really work.
Yeah, I see Rex as more of his own fighter.
Right.
And the same applies for Banjo-Kazooie. Like, I actually don't think... I wouldn't want to dream of Banjo-Kazooie being a Duck Hunt Echo Fighter at all, because can you imagine the fallout on the internet if that happened? Just because people want Banjo-Kazooie so much as, because they're Banjo-Kazooie and they're their own character. If they got announced as an Echo Fighter for Duck Hunt, there would be rioting in the Smash streets everywhere.
Yeah, you're totally right. I don't want Banjo-Kazooie as a clone or as an Echo Fighter now. I want them as their own unique character. And you're kind of touching on something that I've been thinking about recently a little bit. I mean, again, this isn't a big deal, so just me saying this is going to make it sound like it's a way bigger deal than it is. But I've never been a fan of semi-clones or clones really on any level, unless it was true to the character. So for like Luigi, I thought that made sense at the time, although I now wish he were more like Luigi's Mansion Luigi, but whatever. For some characters, it inherently makes sense. But for others, I don't know if it does, as with this example, like Banjo-Kazooie being a clone of Duck Hunt, even if I do see the similarities there. And it gets to my point, though, Echo Fighters are kind of basically second-class citizens. It's like, they're not good enough to get a full moveset, and we're giving them this own brand to kind of separate them from the rest of the cast, and it feels a little bit weird in that sense, like now that they're acknowledging it as them being lesser fighters, essentially.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because I totally get where you're coming from, and on the other side of that, it's also nice for fans of these characters to have a bone thrown to them, but at the same time, is it better to throw fans of Lucina and Shadow and whomever a bone to have them playable in the roster, but not treat them with the same degree of care and respect that the other fighters get? So it's kind of, it's a little bit of one and a little bit of the other. It's nice throwing them a bone, but is it also kind of an insult to the characters as well? It goes kind of both ways. It's weird.
Right. Like Daisy not getting any unique moves. I mean,
yeah.
Even though she's never...
I think it's mostly fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, at the end of the day, in general, yeah, I mean, the more, the better, because at the end of the day, Lucina fans are getting, what they want to a degree more than they would if she wasn't in the roster at all. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's a net positive, but I totally see the pitfalls, where you're coming from, Andre, in terms of the pitfalls of having Echo Fighters and semi-clones and such.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It'd be funny if we got Crom as a Echo Fighter for Ike.
God, that would be so funny.
Roy.
One character I've seen demanded quite a lot is Octoling as a Echo Fighter for Inkling.
Yes.
But I think one problem there is Source Gaming translated recently that the planning for this game finished in late 2015, and I don't think they really had these Octoling designs ready by then. These are fairly new. The Octolings in the single player are different to the ones in Octo Expansion, so I'm not entirely sure if they could do that.
DLC, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, that's always a chance.
Well, that's actually, you're kind of hitting on something there, Derek. Whether they did provide new Echo characters as DLC, because they presumably wouldn't be that much effort to throw in there, especially with a character like the Octoling, where it could pretty much just use the same skeleton as the Inkling. You're just mapping it to the exact same, the same moves, to the same basic structure.
It would be interesting to see, and I fully do expect that. I mean, of course, Smash Ultimate is going to have its own DLC, and I'm sure some of that will be Echo Fighters. It will be interesting to see, though, how they price them compared to a full new fighter. It would be curious to see how they perceive the value of Echo Fighters as compared to, full new fighters.
Mm-hmm. Hard to say, but I mean, the possibilities really are out there. Like with Ryu, put in Ken. With Bayonetta, put in Jean. With I saw somebody suggest that an Echo Fighter for Little Mac could be Hitmonchan, which I think is kind of
great. Yeah, pretty amazing, actually.
I'd like Nintendo to be an Echo Fighter for NES.
Hey,
yes.
There you go.
Exactly. I mean, and given that we don't really know what's happening with the Mii Fighters in terms of like Mii Fighter costumes and such, Proto Man. I mean, people would love to play as Proto Man as an an Echo Fighter for Mega Man. I mean, and he used the same skeleton, like you said.
So, Jeff, thank you so much for the question. And again, if you want to submit your own questions, you can by supporting us on Patreon for just $1. There'll be a link to the description below. On top of that, you get other perks like the podcast 3 days early, as well as exclusive access to the VIP room of our Discord. So, yeah, you can talk more about Smash with people there. Guys, any final thoughts about anything this week that we haven't already touched on?
I think just I find it a little interesting that we didn't get an update on Friday, so perhaps this means going forward that we shouldn't necessarily expect daily updates, but perhaps, mostly daily updates.
Did we get an update on Friday last week? I don't think so.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did.
We had one every day of the week last week except for Monday because Smash Brothers wasn't yet announced.
Yeah.
Right.
So technically they are par for the course so far, 4 days a week. This isn't different yet.
Could they just take one of those, multi-day updates, just move it to, one of those 3 updates, just move it to a diffdifferent day?
Like, I know, right? Yeah.
Or, just give us another song. I'm totally fine with that, too.
They're just screwing with us at this point. Like, oh, you guys want to do daily? Do you want to talk about every day? Yeah, how about not?
I know, now I'm just going to be thankful to get one on the days that we get them, because it's like, oh, maybe we'll get 3 days a week. Now we don't know. Really,
they're going to go. There's going to be 1 week where they go the whole week without anything until the final minute, like 11:59 p.m. on Friday night or something. It's like, oh, here you go. Here's your one update. So.
And everyone, like the Smash 4 Hype Train days, everyone will think because it's coming later, in the middle of the night, oh, it's got to be a character. And it's like an item.
Oh, I remember those nights.
Yeah, I guess that's the main thing here, right? Is with the entire cast returning, that means there will technically be less character reveals, right? Because there's no returning character. I mean, they are talking about the characters still, but they're not they're not going to surprise us with them. They can only surprise us with brand new characters or Echo Fighters at this point.
Yeah, because they've already confirmed. One of the other things that makes this hype train different is that they've already confirmed out of the gate that everyone's back. So yeah, they've really only got newcomers and Echo Fighters to reveal from this point on.
Alright, so that wraps up week 2 of our weekly Smash Bros. Ultimate discussion, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already for tons more on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, including an update every week, and everything else Nintendo as well. Catch you later. Bye.